Once upon a time, in the serene village of Sibuyang nestled within the verdant landscapes of Ujungkulon, Banten, there dwelled a remarkably skilled bridal makeup artist named Unita Nurhajayanti. For years, Unita had been honing her craft, transforming brides into visions of beauty on their most special day. With her deft hands and keen eye for detail, she had garnered a reputation as one of the finest makeup artists in the region. Yet, little did Unita know that her expertise would soon be put to the ultimate test, amidst a series of events that would send ripples of shock through the entire village and beyond. It all began on a seemingly ordinary day, when Unita received a call from a bride-to-be, requesting her services for an upcoming wedding. Delighted at the opportunity to work her magic once again, Unita eagerly accepted the invitation and began preparing meticulously for the occasion. As the day of the wedding dawned, Unita and her dedicated team set out on their journey to the picturesque wedding venue. The road was rough and winding, flanked by dense forests that whispered secrets of bygone days. Yet, undeterred by the challenges of the terrain, they pressed on, fueled by the anticipation of the day ahead. Upon their arrival at the venue, they were greeted warmly by the bride and her family, who welcomed them with open arms. Eager to get started, Unita wasted no time in setting up her workstation and preparing her tools for the task at hand. However, as she began applying the makeup, Unita encountered an unexpected obstacle as the foundation refused to adhere to the bride's skin, as if repelled by some unseen force. Undeterred by the setback, Unita persisted, trying various techniques to coax the makeup into submission. Despite her best efforts, the makeup continued to resist, complicating the process and causing delays. Yet, with unwavering determination, Unita and her team soldiered on, determined to deliver flawless results for the bride's special day. As the makeup session progressed, Unita faced further challenges with the eye makeup, as the eyeliner stubbornly smudged and refused to cooperate. It was as if some mysterious energy was at play, disrupting their efforts and testing their patience. Despite the bride's growing discomfort and the eerie atmosphere that hung in the air, Unita remained focused, channeling all her skill and expertise into her work. With each stroke of her brush and every careful application, she sought to create a masterpiece that would withstand even the most supernatural of forces. Yet, as the wedding ceremony commenced, the bride's condition began to deteriorate rapidly. She complained of feeling unwell and experiencing intense heat emanating from her abdomen, causing alarm among the gathered guests. Concerned for the bride's well-being, Unita and her team rushed to her side, offering assistance and support. Yet, despite their efforts to alleviate her symptoms, the bride's condition continued to worsen, casting a shadow of fear and uncertainty over the joyous occasion. It wasn't long before the true extent of the supernatural disturbances became apparent, as blood began to seep from the walls of the bridal chamber, sending shock waves of terror through the assembled guests. In the face of such inexplicable phenomena, Unita and her team could only watch in stunned disbelief, grappling with the surreal nature of the events unfolding before them. With the help of local spiritual leaders, they attempted to cleanse the space and appease the restless spirits, yet the disturbances persisted, refusing to be quelled by mortal intervention alone. It wasn't until they uncovered the truth behind the bride's illness and neglected ancestral spirits seeking retribution that they were able to begin the process of restoration and healing. In the aftermath of the harrowing ordeal, Unita and her team bid farewell to the village, their minds still reeling from the inexplicable events they had witnessed. Though the memory of that fateful day would linger in their minds for years to come, they emerged from the experience stronger and more resilient than ever before, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit in the face of adversity. This true story is made by interview with a source named Aya on the RJL5 YouTube channel. Prepare yourself and listen to this scary story carefully. Once upon a time, in the bustling city of Bikazi, there lived a young woman named Aya. She had relocated from Lampung to Bikazi for her studies and had settled into her new life quite comfortably. However, there came a time when she needed to return to her hometown in Lampung to collect some important documents. It was the year 2019, and Aya, now in her second year of vocational school, embarked on a journey back to Lampung alone. As she boarded the bus from Bikazi to Lampung, Aya's mind was filled with anticipation and excitement to see her family and friends again. Little did she know, her journey was about to take an unexpected turn into the realm of the supernatural. The bus ride started off uneventfully, with Aya admiring the passing scenery and reminiscing about her childhood memories. However, as the bus made its way closer to Lampung, Aya noticed something peculiar, a set of twin mountains that she had never seen before. These mountains appeared to be identical, standing tall and majestic against the horizon. Despite her initial surprise, Aya brushed off the sight of the twin mountains as a quirk of nature and continued her journey. Upon reaching Lampung, she spent a couple of days reconnecting with her loved ones and relishing the warmth of her hometown. But it was on her return journey from Lampung to Bikazi that Aya's adventure took a chilling turn. As she boarded the bus alone, Aya couldn't shake off a sense of unease that lingered in the air. Little did she know that she was about to encounter something far more sinister than she could ever imagine. As the bus ventured deeper into the night, Aya noticed that the atmosphere inside the bus grew tense and eerie. The once lively chatter of fellow passengers had dwindled into an uncomfortable silence, broken only by the occasional creaking of the bus's aging chassis. Suddenly, Aya's attention was drawn to a peculiar sight, a set of twin mountains looming in the distance, identical to the ones she had seen on her journey to Lampung. Despite her growing unease, Aya tried to convince herself that it was merely a coincidence. However, deep down, she couldn't shake off the feeling of foreboding that gnawed at her insides. As the bus trundled along the winding roads, Aya couldn't help but feel a sense of dread creeping over her. It was as if an invisible force was guiding the bus towards an unknown destination, far removed from the familiar roads of Bikazi. Just when Aya thought things couldn't get any stranger, she received a chilling message on her phone. It was a DM from a fellow passenger who claimed to have had a terrifying experience on the same bus route. The message recounted tales of ghostly apparitions, strange noises, and inexplicable phenomena that had haunted the bus for years. Terrified by the ominous message, Aya glanced around the bus, only to find herself surrounded by shadowy figures and empty seats. The once bustling bus now seemed deserted, its interior bathed in an eerie half-light that cast long, sinister shadows across the aisles. Desperate to make sense of the situation, Aya turned to the person sitting next to her, an elderly woman clad in traditional Javanese attire. With trembling hands, Aya mustered the courage to strike up a conversation, hoping to glean some insight into the strange occurrences that plagued the bus. To her horror, the elderly woman's demeanor soon turned sinister, and she began speaking in hushed tones about the bus's haunted history. According to the woman, the bus was cursed by vengeful spirits who roamed the Twin Mountains, seeking vengeance on unsuspecting passengers who dared to tread their sacred grounds. As the night wore on, Aya found herself trapped in a waking nightmare, surrounded by malevolent forces beyond her comprehension. With each passing moment, the boundary between the living and the dead blurred, and Aya struggled to maintain her sanity amidst the chaos. Just when it seemed like all hope was lost, Aya remembered the talisman her grandmother had given her for protection. With trembling hands, she clutched the talisman close to her heart and recited a prayer for deliverance from the forces of darkness. To her amazement, the talisman began to glow with an otherworldly light, driving back the shadows that threatened to engulf her. Emboldened by the power of her ancestral heritage, Aya confronted the malevolent spirits that lurked within the bus, banishing them back to the depths of the Twin Mountains from whence they came. As dawn broke on the horizon, Aya emerged from the harrowing ordeal, her spirit battered but unbroken. Though the memory of that fateful bus ride would haunt her for years to come, Aya emerged from the experience with a newfound appreciation for the supernatural forces that lurked beyond the veil of the mundane world. And so, with a steely resolve and a heart full of courage, Aya returned to Bikazi, ready to face whatever challenges the future might hold. For she knew that no matter how dark the night may seem, the light of her indomitable spirit would always guide her through the darkest of times. Imagine yourself transported back to the year 2016, a time when the world teetered on the edge of uncertainty, its future obscured by the mists of possibility. It was against this backdrop of swirling chaos that my journey unfolded, a journey that would lead me to the threshold of fear and beyond. Picture, if you will, a dreary evening painted in shades of gray, where the sky wept softly upon the earth below. It was on such an evening that I, a weary traveler in the guise of a humble painter, found myself caught in the relentless embrace of a sudden downpour. With nowhere to turn, I sought shelter beneath the eaves of a weathered house, its time-worn facade whispering secrets of ages long past. As I stood there, shivering beneath the weight of my sodden clothes, a flicker of movement caught my eye, the faint outline of a figure standing in the shadowed doorway. With a hesitant knock, I roused the occupant from their solitude, and thus began my descent into the heart of darkness. The man who greeted me, an enigmatic soul by the name of Joko, welcomed me into his home with a weary smile and a glint of something indefinable in his eyes. He spoke little of himself, offering only cryptic hints and half-truths that served to deepen the mystery of his existence. It was not long before I learned of Joko's request, a simple task, he claimed, to repaint the fading facade of his home and restore it to its former glory. Eager for work in those lean times, I accepted without question, though a sense of unease prickled at the edges of my consciousness. From the outset, there was something off about Joko's house, something that defied rational explanation. Strange noises echoed through its empty corridors at the creak of floorboards beneath unseen feet, the whisper of voices carried on the wind. and then there were the shadows, shifting and coalescing in the corners of my vision, as if concealing secrets too terrible to behold. Undeterred by these ominous signs, I threw myself into the task at hand, determined to earn my keep and make my mark upon the world. But with each passing day, the atmosphere within the house grew ever more repressive, suffused with a palpable sense of malevolence that seemed to seep from the very walls themselves. It was during one such evening, as I worked late into the night to meet Joko's stringent deadline, that I first encountered the specters that haunted his home. At first, they appeared as nothing more than fleeting shadows at the periphery of my vision, but as the hours wore on, they grew bolder, their forms taking shape before my disbelieving eyes. They were the spirits of the past, trapped within the confines of Joko's house, their anguished cries echoing through the empty halls. I watched helplessly as they reenacted scenes of unspeakable horror. A mother and her children, torn asunder by forces beyond comprehension, their wails of agony rending the very fabric of reality. Haunted by the horrors I had witnessed, I resolved to uncover the truth behind Joko's enigmatic facade, to shine a light into the darkest corners of his soul. With the help of a trusted companion, I delved deep into the mysteries of the house, uncovering secrets long buried beneath layers of deceit and betrayal. What we discovered shook us to our very core, a tale of love and loss, of betrayal and redemption, woven into the very fabric of Joko's existence. For he was not the man he appeared to be, but rather a vessel for the tormented spirits that haunted his home, their restless souls crying out for release from their eternal torment. Armed with this knowledge, we confronted Joko in the dead of night, his form twisted and contorted by the malevolent forces that sought to consume him. With a final act of defiance, we banished the spirits from his home, breaking the curse that had bound them for so long. And so, dear listener, let this tale serve as a cautionary reminder of the dangers that lurk within the shadows, and the power of the human spirit to overcome even the greatest of adversities. For though the road may be long and fraught with peril, there exists within each of us a spark of courage that can never be extinguished, a light that guides us through the darkness and into the dawn of a new day.